Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you are fine and doing well. Sorry. Here we have to talk again effect of pH and other factors on microbial growth. If we will see in our previous session and previous classes, we have studied all the bacterial structures, their organelles, and their structure and functions in detail. And in this chapter, we have to discuss in detail that how microbial uh, growth takes place on this globe and which type of factors influencing the microbial growth on this globe. There are several factors which are influencing the microbial growth. Suppose temperature, pH, oxygen, osmotic pressure, and many more. If these factors are in optimal condition and optimal situation, these are supporting the microbial growth. If these are factors not up to the standard for microbes, their growth is going to be limited. So here we have to discuss on other environmental factors affecting microbial growth outlines, acidity and alkalinity, how affects the microbial growth on this environment, because there are very less environmental or ecological needs are there which have balance or neutral pH. Some environment have alkaline pH and some environmental conditions or some ecological needs have alkaline conditions, and every condition supports the microorganisms accordingly. Osmotic effect on microbial growth. Osmotic pressure also varies from environment to environment, ecological niche to other niche. Oxygen and microorganism. Oxygen also playing very vital role in survival of the microorganisms, and the toxic forms of oxygen also affecting the microbial growth. So we have to discuss acidity and alkalinity, how affects microorganisms. The pH of an environment greatly affects microbial growth. Suppose if pH is acidic, microbial communities will be according to the pH. If pH is alkaline, microbial communities will be selected accordingly. Therefore, we are saying that pH of environment playing important role in microbial growth. Some microorganisms have evolved to grow best at low pH or best at high pH. But most microorganisms grow best between pH 6 and pH 8, which are called neutrophiles, means they are living in neutral environment. But some microorganisms, they are growing at low pH, means acidic pH, and some microorganisms are like to grow at high pH, means in alkaline pH. But most of the microorganisms, they like neutral pH. If you will see the scenario of the pH, acidophiles, which have low hydrogen ion and high hydrogen ion concentration, low hydrogen ion concentration. Okay. Acidophiles, increasing acidity, pH will be increased, and this pH of example is volcanic soils and waters. They have low pH. Gastric fluids, they have low pH. Lemon juices have low pH, acidic pH. Acidic mine drainage also have low pH. Vinegar have low pH. And rhubarбs also have a rich acidic soils, and tomatoes and American cheese, hydrogen ion concentration is low. Peas and corn Solomon sharps, these have low pH. And neutral pH, the things which are present at pH 7, this is called neutral pH, where 10 is the power 7 hydroxyl ion concentration is there. 10 is the power 7 in both. And in alkaline pH, if you will see, pH is increasing. pH will be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like this, such as seawater, very alkaline natural soil, alkaline lakes, soft solutions, household ammonia, extremely alkaline soda lakes, and lime saturated solution. These have high alkaline pH. So most of the microbes, they like to survive at this neutral pH, but some microbes have ability to grow at this acidic pH. Some microbes have ability to grow in alkaline pH, but most of the microorganisms have to like to grow at this neutral pH. Why microbes are like to grow at neutral pH? Because the cytoplasmic membrane and cytoplasmic solution and contents, they have adopted best to grow in neutral pH. Acidity and alkalinity, acidophiles, microorganisms that grow at best at low pH, means less than 6. Some are obligate acidophiles, membrane destroyed at neutral pH, because some microorganisms, they are restricted to grow at acidic pH, because when they will go towards the neutral pH, what will be? Their cytoplasmic membrane will be ruptured. Stability of the cytoplasmic membrane is critical issue, because it cannot survive at neutral pH, that is adapted to acidic pH. Alkalophiles, microorganisms that grow best at high pH, means more than 9. Some have sodium motive forces rather than protein motive forces, which makes them able to grow at high pH solution. The internal pH of bacterial cell most is relatively close to neutral pH, even though the external pH high, acidic or basic. So it must be clear that every microorganism which has been created, or living organism has been created in this universe are existing. Their cytoplasmic pH is near to neutral pH. Either external pH is going to high or is going to low, but bacterial cells have ability to maintain the pH accordingly. Internal pH has been found to be as low as 4.6, as high as 9.5 in extreme acidic and alkalophiles respectively. So we must have to remember that pH of the cytoplasm of every microorganism is near to neutral. Even external pH increases or decreases, no problem. Internal pH has been found to be as low as 4.6 and high as 9.5 in extreme acidic and alkalophile respectively. But those microorganisms who have ability, who can grow at acidic environment or alkaline environment, their cytoplasmic pH is at low. In case of low pH, it exists, it survives at 4.6. pH is there in their cytoplasm, and in alkalinity condition, the cytoplasmic pH is 9.5. Microbial culture media typically contain buffer to maintain the constant pH. Therefore, in artificial medium, when we are growing microorganism in nutrient agar, in McConkey agar, or in brain heart infusion agar, in which type of artificial medium we are trying to keep the pH neutral as much as possible. So in next topic, we are coming towards the osmotic effect on microbial growth. Osmotic pressure also have effect on microbial growth. So typically the cytoplasm has a higher solute concentration than the surrounding environment. Thus the tendency is for water to move into the cell positive water balance. So typically what happens, cytoplasm is uh, have high solute concentration because that have carbohydrates, that have proteins, that have uh, ions, that have ribosomes. Therefore, it is little bit thick and have high solute concentration than the surrounding environment. Therefore, mostly what happens? So it is thick. Here was in cytoplasmic region, cytoplasm is thick, have a low water concentration. What happens in this case? The water molecules from surrounding moving towards the cytoplasm to balance the water concentration. So therefore, it is called positive water balance. When a cell is in environment with a high external solute concentration, water will flow out unless the cell has a mechanism to prevent it. When what happens? When bacterial cell is present in a solution which have high solute concentration compared to cytoplasmic region, so what happens? The water from cytoplasmic system, cytoplasm, it moves out towards the surrounding solution to maintain the cytoplasm, to maintain the concentration, to keep it balanced. So in such cases, bacterial cells trying to keep it in level, trying to keep in balance by different mechanisms. So these two conditions, these are lethal and extremely difficult for the microorganisms to survive because uh, when water content will go out from the cytoplasm region, bacteria will shrink and will die. When water content will come inside of the cytoplasm from the surrounding environment, in this case, cytoplasm will be burst and bacterial cell will die. So such type of osmotic mechanism or osmotic pressures uh, on this globe are used for the preservation of the different food samples and other things. Osmotic effect on microbial growth, halophiles, microorganisms that grow best at reduced water potential have a specific requirement for NaCl. Those are called halophiles. Halophiles that grow best at reduced water potential means a high salt concentration have a specific requirement for sodium chloride. Extreme halophiles, microorganisms that require high level 15 to 30% of sodium chloride for growth are called extreme halophiles. Halotolerant, microorganisms that can tolerate some reduction in water activity of environment but generally grow best in the absence of the added solute. Those are called halotolerant. Means they can grow in neutral environment but also can tolerate the high salt concentration. So extremophiles, halotolerant. So therefore we can classify on the basis of the osmotic effect microorganisms into halophiles, microorganisms that can grow at high salt concentration, Extreme halophiles, those microorganisms which can uh, grow at extreme high concentration of the salt, 15 to 30% of, and halotolerant, those microorganisms which can grow in neutral environment but also have ability to tolerate the high salt concentration. This is concentration of the sodium chloride. If you will see here, 5% salt, 10% salt, 15% salt, and 20% salt. And non-halophilic microorganism, Escherichia coli, that can grow at very low salt concentration. It's maybe up to 1.1% salt concentration. Halotolerant, example of Staphylococcus aureus, which can grow at zero temperature, zero salt concentration, 0% salt concentration, where they have maxima, but also can tolerate up to the 10% salt concentration. And halophiles, Alivibro fisheries, these also can grow up to this salt concentration. It starts from they can grow, they also can tolerate at zero salt concentration, but their optima is at 5% salt concentration and survive up to 12% salt concentration. If you will see the extreme halophiles, those microorganisms which have ability to grow at high salt concentration, means more than 10% salt concentration. So this is the scenario and the phenomena or effect of the osmotic pressure. When, so we have to clear one thing over here. When concentration of salt increases from it is beyond the limits, suppose for halophiles, when salt concentration will increase from this, these will start to die. But here, because their optima is this 5%, they can grow best. Halotolerant can grow best at 1 or 2%, up to 4% salt concentration. And non-halophile microorganism can grow at 1% or 0% salt concentration. So this type of environment, osmotic pressure, can be applied for the preservation of the microorganism. Suppose if you will, when we are keeping the high salt concentration in any environment, microbial growth is going to be reduced over there. They have no ability to grow or survive at that environment. Osmophiles, microorganisms that live in environments high in the sugar as solutes. Xerophiles, microorganisms able to grow in very dry environment. Mechanism for something, mechanism for combating low water activity in surrounding environment involve increasing the internal solute concentration by. So here we want to talk how microorganisms making themselves are adapting to uh, low water activity in surrounding environment involve increasing the internal solute concentrations by pumping inorganic ions from environment into cell. So what they are doing in such concentration, they are pumping inorganic ions from environment to inside of the cytoplasm to keep the level in balance. Mechanism for combating low water activity in surrounding. If water is less in surrounding, how microbes are surviving? They are taking uh, inorganic ions from surrounding to cytoplasm to make it little bit balanced. Second, synthesis are concentration of organic cellulose, and they are synthesizing more organic molecules in cytoplasm that it also will be thick, and here also concentration of water will be less, compared to compared to outside environment to maintain the bacterial life. Compatible solutes, compounds used by cells to contract low water activity in surrounding environment. Compounds used by cells to contract low water activity in surrounding environment. In such way, compatible solutes they are prepared. So after this, we are going to stop over here, and for details uh, of this mechanism, you must have to go recommended book. You have to read it in detail, and in any confusion or in any type of question, if you have, you can ask me by available means. Available means. Thank you. Have a nice time. Please.